Hi, I'm Marlon Braccia. Welcome to Yoga Time. Today we'll do a relatively heated practice, and we'll end with a technique called Viloma. It's a pranayama technique that's a little bit advanced if you've been doing Ujjayi breathing for quite a while. You should be able to follow this. We'll be holding the breath in very specific sequences. Let's start by first doing a very simple forward bend. Any cross-legged position is fine. One heel in front of the other works very well. Exhale. On your way down, inhale, extend. So finding your breath. Slip into Ujjayi. And music down just a little bit here. Thank you. Good. So before you start your practice, finding your center by bringing the focus inward and doing a yogic technique called withdrawal of the senses. It's not that you become unaware of all the things that are happening around you, what you see, what you hear. It's just that they fade into the background and an internal sense of self becomes more important. It is infinitely deeper and more interesting. We just need to learn to tune to that. So let's come on up to our feet. We'll start with some salutations. If you have a mat, please come to the back of it. With the heels just a few inches apart and the big toes together. And the hands in prayer pose. Again, find Ujjayi breathing. Raspy sound in the back of the throat. Make the breath as long and deep as you can. And even as the positions get challenging, do your very best to keep it there. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, dive over. Back is flat. Pulling in. Inhaling, hands slide under the knees, extend the back. Exhaling down. Inhaling, walk the hands forward, separate the feet, and come into downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Basic vinyasa here. Exhale, chaturanga. Elbows stay close. Inhale up. Chest puffs through. Face looks up if the neck is comfortable. Exhale, roll over the toes. Into down dog again. Look up between the hands. Either walk or hop the legs up. And exhale. Arms come wide. Chest lifts. Fingertips press out to the side. Good. So don't let the arms just float with you. Really use as much energy in them as you can. Exhaling happens right from the hips. Inhaling, flatten. Exhaling, reach. This time, hands press down. Exhale all the air out. Hop the feet back to down dog. Good. So heels come toward the ground. Let's perfect this pose for a moment or two here. The hands are wide, only shoulder distance apart. The feet are the same distance apart, heels moving toward the ground. Sit bones raise as far away from you as possible. The center of the middle of the back drops. Head just hangs heavy. As you inhale, the face comes forward and the hips come down. Exhale. And inhale, reach. Good. Notice how the chest puffs right through. The tailbone tucks under. If this is too hard, go ahead and put the knees on the ground and just bend the elbows a little bit. Put it into cobra. Up dog's much more advanced. The feet come together. The thighs lift away. The tailbone tucks. And the chest lifts. Howling dog. Roll over the toes. Separate the feet. Down dog again. Exhale all the air out, look between the thumbs. Hop the feet up. Exhale. And inhale. Let's come into a few triangle poses. The feet are 3.5 to 4 feet apart. The front heel lines up directly with the back arch. Press the heel back so the toes come forward just a little bit. Inhaling, arms up to shoulder height. Shift. And let the front hand drop. The other arm comes up into the air. Good. Important that the chest is wide open. Try not to be here, but to have the body right in line with the front leg. One thumb directly on top of the other thumb. Look up to that thumb in the air. As you open more, you'll be able to lower the arm, but do so when you don't compromise what's happening in the chest. Breathe through. Good. Think of the bottom hip tucking under you, the top hip rotating back. So the whole torso is opened up. On the inhale, let the arms come up and the front knee bend simultaneously. Exhale, sit into the position. You can widen the feet just a little bit. Ideally, the front thigh is parallel to the ground. Do make sure that the knee is right over the ankle and not past. Focus attention right over the front middle finger. Both arms energized. The chest comes up and the hips come down. Careful that the foot doesn't roll up. Keep the little toe side of the back foot pressed on the ground. Inhale, straighten the leg. And let's flop the feet. Moving on your breath. Exhale, shift. And just let that hand come down wherever it lands. After a few breaths, see if you can bring it just a little bit lower. Ideally, the palm is flat on the ground, but really only if the chest is wide open. Inhale, moving smoothly into the next position. Long, smooth Ujjayi breathing helps you move through the asanas with grace, fluidity, with calm, focused mind. So split the difference between the will and determination to do the posture well and finding space, finding freedom and surrender in the position. Inhaling, front leg straightens. Good. Let's flip the feet again, the other way. And we're going to try a much more challenging version of this, reverse triangle. So please make sure that your front heel is still lined up with the back arch. We're going to take the opposite hand up than the leg. Raise it up in the air on the inhale. And on the exhale, come down either onto the leg, onto the ankle, or onto the ground, and twist. Face looks up to the thumb in the air if you can. Press the feet in the ground and breathe smoothly. Inhale, slowly come up. Exhale, other side. It's a lot tougher than regular triangle. Inhaling up. Exhaling to whatever level you need to be at, even if it's right here. Try and bring again one thumb directly on top of the other. Move deeper in the exhales. Let the breath be smooth. That's your indicator if you should be going further or not. If the breath is really labored, don't take it any further. Just be there. Inhale up. And exhale, let's just drop forward. Good. Holding on. Sit bones come high. And the head just hangs. Try and pull yourself through. Shifting the weight slowly to the ball of the foot. You can even hook the arms under. Bend the knees deeply. Let the head hang. And then straighten up. Okay. All right. So, that's a nice little warm-up. Let's come on down to the ground and do a few techniques that are going to strengthen the back. What I'd like you to do is to start on your belly. This particular position has several variations. It's called Shalabhasana. Let's start with one that's easy. Take the chin into the ground and the hands palm down, just about a foot away from the body. This version is locust. So as you inhale, raise the hands, raise the legs. Let the face look directly into the ground so that you don't kink the neck. Press the fingers and the toes away and lift them as much as you can. Breathe smoothly through. On the exhale, bring the hands down, rest the face to one side. So if you find that position difficult, it's best to stay there. If you want to move on to something more challenging, the hands come in front. By shifting the weight in front of you, the position comes more difficult. So be particularly mindful of the back of your neck as you inhale and come up. By doing this position, you're creating space between your vertebrae. Pull the crown of the head away from the tailbone. And rest the cheek to the other side. Now, we can also do this in a variation that is moving. So it's a little bit more of a Vinyasa sequence. It has a flow. It will help you stay in your breath as you do it. Let's bring the elbows out to the side. And on the inhale, reach forward. Head ducks. On the exhale, come down. All right, so now the back is pretty warmed up. Let's do a very interesting back stretch. It's subtle, so you want to bring the elbows together. It really does happen internally. So you lift the chest, lift the sternum, and from the inside of your body, press the navel into the ground. Right here, at the top of the sacrum, you should feel a very intense stretch. Just pressing it down. That really helps to train the discs to stay in place between the vertebrae. Pull the shoulders down. Good. Doesn't look like much if you're not trying it, but it sure is. Okay, so from here, let's start to do some back bends. It's important that you warm up the back before you do that, which we have done. Very simple back bend is cobra. The fingertips are in line with the shoulders, maybe just 3-4 inches in front. I squeeze the elbows in and I press on the palms to raise my chest. Now if you're here and that's a lot of effort, that's fine. The idea is to keep the bend in the elbows and bring the chest as vertical as you can without compacting the lower vertebrae. So you want to be reaching not only back, but upward. Exhale, come down. More advanced than that is up dog. So there's a shift. The chest comes through the arms, very rooster-like, and the breast. The knees raise, the ankles together, toes together. The head just floats on top. The tailbone presses inward. To relax the back, at any time, come into child's pose with the seat on the heels and the forehead on the ground. Let's do one more back bend called bow pose. Grab the insides of the feet and very carefully on the way up, inhaling. And come down. Good. After a series of back bends, even a single back bend, you want to do a twist. It helps relieve the tightness in the back. So cross one foot over the knee. Same elbow as the knee on the inside. The other hand in back. Raise the spine and twist. To advance that, you can bring the arms through. Hold on to the opposite wrist. Sit tall and twist again. Let's try the other side. Elbow in. Raise the chest. Crown the head right over the spine. Okay. So, any cross-legged position. And let's do our pranayama practice just for a moment or two before we end in Shavasana. You want to make sure that you're sitting perfectly and absolutely vertically, even if that means you go and sit against a wall. The practice of Viloma indicates, by the roots of its Sanskrit words, that there are pauses between different parts of the breath. So there's several ways to do that. Today, we're going to take the inhale in 3 sections and the exhale in 1 long section. The breath comes in through the chest first, as always, moves down to the belly, and exhales from the belly upward. That is the way to really fill the lungs. So let's start. Relax the hands down. Keep the chest really lifted. Inhale for 5 seconds in the top of the chest, and then hold the breath. Inhale again in the midsection. Hold the breath. And inhale once more in the belly. Hold the breath again. And exhale smoothly out from the belly upward. So by speaking in between, I'm not really doing the practice, because speaking is always on an exhalation. So let's just watch the way that my chest moves, listen to the sound of my breath, and just follow along, and I think you'll be able to get this quite easily. Inhaling slowly. So if I am inhaling for 5 seconds each, that's 15. We'll make the exhale also 15 seconds. Now if that's too much, which it very well may be in the beginning, try inhaling in increments of 3 and holding for just 1 second in between, and then exhaling for 9. So I'll be on 5. Find the numerical count that is right for you. And let's do that twice more. Good. If you've got the rhythm, go ahead and close the eyes as you do this. Good. Okay. Now, what I have found is that the prolonged practice of that is doing it for maybe about 10 minutes a day over the space of a few weeks or a few months, the residual effect of that is that life seems to become extremely manageable. That whatever is flying at you in your life really seems to not be overbearing. I don't lose my wits so much when I'm doing this practice. So I really recommend it for a busy urban life. As always, please do come onto your back into Shavasana. Relax, open up, and remain there for about 3 to 5 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time and your efforts. I'm Marlon Braccia. Namaste.